Hey everybody, this is Daniel Harms with the RGR Football Channel, welcoming you back for another film room. This time, it's not a draft pick. It is a free agent signing. Finally, we had everything leading up through Monday in the Q&A, kind of slow playing it for the Chiefs. They come away last night and signed Justin Reid, safety, free agent from Houston, who, let's be honest, did not have the best last couple of years. But let's be more honest about it. The Houston Texans dumpster fire of a defense is a huge reason that he was unable to have a much more impactful season. He's a much better player than he has been, specifically this year, and I think we're going to kind of see that as we get more into the film. But I want to start off by talking about Tyrann Mathieu, what he was able to bring to this Chiefs team, what he contributed in terms of not just accountability on the field and the Super Bowl championship, but being just kind of who he is and not necessarily caring about what anybody else thought about him. I think that was a very important aspect of his career and of his entire personality that maybe started to rub people the wrong way at the end there. But regardless, even if they don't end up bringing him back, as I don't feel that they will or can, I hope he goes on to have the career that he wants. He's got his Super Bowl championship now. Maybe he gets one more bag before it starts to be 1 year, 2 year deals for the rest of his career. But hats off to Tyrann Mathieu. I loved what he was able to bring and just the way that he played the game. I absolutely respect him, and I'll always love him for what he did for Kansas City. With that said, this pickup for Kansas City is a very, very big deal in my opinion. Now you have a true young safety tandem that are athletic and fast, are able to really interchange with each other. As much as I love Tyrann, he really can't play that deep safety that Juan Thornhill had to play, and obviously Dan Sorensen couldn't do that, can't do that. Justin Reid can do that and more. He has the speed, he has the ground covering ability, he has the size, he has all of it to be able to play both on an island as the deep safety or in the box. Last year when he was with Houston, he started off the season more of the true deep safety. Now he would have some splits here and there where he would be the deep safety or a two deep safety look like that, a split safety if you will. And then the emergence of Lonnie Johnson from the Texans helped him move down into the box, covering more tight ends, seeing more of that true box safety feel, and he's pretty good at it. He's a bit more physical. He's got some meat on his bones. Definitely a guy who likes to get in there and scrounge up a little bit, as we're going to see here in just a little. But I think that it really helped round his game out and show the versatility that he brings, and the Chiefs getting him on a 3-year deal is going to help not only them bolster the athleticism and youth of the defensive roster, but I do think it helps having two guys that relatively can interchange with each other at free safety and in the box. And I do expect Juan Thornhill to be moved around much like they like to do with their safeties and move them in the box and have them playing a ton of games. I think this season you're going to see both Justin Reid and Juan Thornhill play some pretty key roles in terms of moving around and trying to confuse offenses as well as quarterbacks into making mistakes. Now, right in the beginning, when I started watching Justin Reid, it was very apparent of one aspect that he's going to bring no matter what. Let's go ahead and jump right in. From the start, like I mentioned, you're going to see he's a deep safety here at the top, the left of your screen. This is one of those things that just jumps off the screen. Justin Reid is such a physical dude who will attack downhill quickly. He gets downhill in a hurry, and I think that when he sees and he reacts, his click and close is much like Juan Thornhill's. He can really get downhill in a hurry. He's got a good back pedal. It's not super fast, but you're trying not to be too fast with your drop like that. So just to welcome incoming crossing routes and things like that. But having the ability to really click, close, and break up a ball like that and force a fumble. I know that Donovan Peoples-Jones isn't, the best receiver in the world, but you're still seeing his ability to come downhill, locate that football with his left hand right there, knock it out, be a physical presence in the secondary that can help contribute to any aspect, okay? I think that's really the biggest thing for me as the takeaway is that he's such a physical guy. And now this is some of the issues that he did have in Houston. This right here, the X's. I personally look at this as he's telling this guy, look for the crossing route, okay? Because It's coming, and you need to cover it. You need to be looking for it, okay? This is a miscommunication. Something that happens a lot in Houston and teams that aren't well run, and when you're relying on players like Eric Murray, for example, who is that safety right there, who doesn't see this at all. Justin Reid has to do everything himself. He's got to come and cover DJ Chark, and then he realizes that the ball is going backward. He peels off, and then he levels Marvin Jones. Levels Marvin Jones. That's another thing that I really like to see, is that he doesn't, he will hit you. If the ball comes in your direction, he will hit you. That's the thing. I like that in a safety. I like that in a, just about any type of player, the physicality that he brings. And again, the communication, I think that the mental game of Justin Reid is there. He's still growing a little bit, but again, 25 years old, you can deal with that. I think that getting him into this defense with as much as you're going to learn, I think that there are some aspects of the defense that can be hard to learn. But I think that he can be one of those guys that helps take it on. And again, he's got to do everything here. Unfortunately, this was tipped a little bit there. And then Reid just comes back and delivers a knockout blow to Marvin Jones. Again, excuse me, just trying to communicate, seeing that crossing route was probably coming across. And then he just makes sure that even if you had the ball, I'm going to make sure I knock it out. And we have Justin Reid up here, the top of your screen. Just making sure you guys can see him. This is one of those things that, yeah, the ball's not thrown well. It's a poorly thrown ball, but he's also reacting, okay? He might not get there at the catch point, but we've seen what he does when he clicks and he closes. This ball could also be knocked out if he doesn't see it and peel off, okay? I think that he was coming down with some bad intentions with this wide receiver, and then he sees that the ball's not coming to him. That's another part of this whole ordeal, is having the ball skills to react while you're closing on a receiver. Okay, he sees that ball's coming in at a different trajectory, and so he says, okay, I'm going to look for it, and I'm going to pluck it out of the air. He's got pretty good hands, actually. Multiple times that the ball comes around him, it finds a way to, either he knocks it out with his hands, or he, locates it and picks it off. That's really what you're looking for. You want to be able to have a safety that can make you pay for balls that are tipped or they're thrown off direction, especially when you're just in the right position. So I also like seeing him run after, using some run after the catch ability here, and just really kind of lean a shoulder into anybody looking to tackle him. Right here, he's about to just say, "Hey Baker, goodbye." He's a physical dude. He really likes to play physically, and that's one area where I think it can get him in trouble a little bit. This is the one aspect of his game that I don't like so much. It's the one thing that shows up on his tape in the 4 games that I watched. And you're going to see him down here, right here, as like that pseudo linebacker the Chiefs like to use. Guys like L'Jarius Sneed in that pseudo linebacker role. He offers that ability, which might open up some more 3 safety things where they're in nickel or even in dime. So he's a much more versatile player than I think a lot of people recognize. He can do a lot of things. He can play as a slot corner. He can play as a deep safety. He can play as this pseudo linebacker because he has the size to really kind of fill it out. But his aggressiveness can get him in trouble at times. And the one thing that I don't think is perfect is his tackling. He's got some real issues with wrapping up consistently. And you're going to see here, he does a great job of attacking Cooper Kupp on the inside and making Henderson right there. He's like, you can't go anywhere. I'm going to come and I'm going to tackle you. And then he misses. It's a pretty big hole in his game. It's the one thing that he doesn't do well. He does want to be more physical and come down and throw a shoulder into you instead of wrapping up properly. But I think that we've seen Tyrann Mathieu do a lot of the same stuff. And you have a defense that can rally to the football a little bit here in Kansas City with the linebackers that they have. So I'm less worried about it. It's just more in the open field. I don't trust him necessarily to make some of those key plays when a receiver is given, let's just say, space to maneuver. I think he'll miss more often than he doesn't. And then back to the communication aspect. Again, aggressive style where he's in the... Oh, sorry, he's over here. I apologize. I was going to say something else, but he's right here. So what you're seeing here, he's communicating to his other safety to look for something. I'm going to tell you what it is in a second here. This is a really nice call out by Reid. You're going to see here, he's telling him to watch the fullback, okay? So from what I gather, This is him seeing the formation and seeing that the fullback will like to leak out. Okay, that happens a lot. This is those play action passes you use all the time in Madden. Okay, I used to use it all the time when I first started. It's a play action pass where the fullback just leaks for like 5-6 yards. It's an easy completion to get the quarterback going, and most importantly, it's on first down. You get movement in the offense and you don't get stagnant. But watch how he communicates. Tells his other safety to look for it. He's like, see, look, you look, watch for it. It's coming. And then watch Justin Herbert. Initially, Justin Fields. Sorry, guys. Justin Herbert. He's going to pump to the fullback right off the bat here. Or pump outside. He just tells his safety to sit in this spot, to sit in this zone, and look for the pump. So this could have been either one of two things. It could have been the fullback leak or just a little slant here. But if you have a safety that comes down, because, look, communication. He's telling him, watch it. Watch the fullback. Watch this slant here. And you're going to see, I realized that Herbert kind of fakes right here. But this safety's coming down. He can't pull a trigger on that. So instead, he's got to hold on to the ball another second, which makes you go through your progressions a little more. And then he dumps it down to the running back, and it gets nothing. So I liked to see the mental game showing up for Justin Reid to communicate across the field at a formation that he sees, he recognizes, and that could possibly happen as this play unfolds. It's really nice to see that kind of stuff, because we take it for granted, as Tyrann Mathieu does it all the time, kind of pointing out things and showing you where the play could be, where he's going to go, and reacting that way. And other players do have some of that too. So it's nice to see that they're not necessarily losing all of the mental aspect. There's just things that Tyrann Mathieu can do, and he can see that isn't teachable. It's not something that you can really teach. You have to just be that kind of a film guy, knowing and recognizing things. And I think that Reid has some of that potential, maybe not to that extent, but his physical tools are why he's coming in Kansas City. Now, once again, you're going to see Justin Reid down here, closer to the line of scrimmage, as a box safety, which I think is a role he can execute pretty well. And he's not the best tackler, as we can see here. He's not afraid to mess around with the run game, okay? So he's coming down here because, one, this is the Browns, so you have huge 2 tight end sets. So he's coming down to play aggressively in the run game because he sees that the tight end is going to block. So he comes down, does a good job. This is a really, really bad block by Harrison Bryant. But still, you're just the attacking mentality that he has. He sees the play happen, he reacts, he adjusts accordingly to it, and most importantly, he's going to be physical. He's going to come down. He doesn't take the best angle, obviously, but if you can force the running back to cut it back inside, more often than not, you're going to make a play for your defense. So even though he doesn't get the tackle here, he makes Kareem Hunt come back upside, and your defense helps you out. That's all this is about. Like these little plays, these subtle little things that he does really work out for the defense. And now we're going to see exactly why he didn't have the best situation in Houston last year. So he's up here as a split safety, having to make decisions because, as we all know, we've seen this kind of thing before, right? But it's usually the Kansas City Chiefs on the other end of this. Eyes in the backfield. Just letting the receivers go deep. This is a terrible job of there's no contact here, and everyone just gets sucked up. So you have linebackers bailing. There is so much space here. Reid has to cover all of this ground. He has to be able to say, okay, I need to kind of be all over here. What's he supposed to do? So he's got to go with the quarterback. The quarterback, I believe, is more leaning inside. And then, right here, this is the special part. Like, that's some nice athleticism. Let's watch it full speed so you guys can get real appreciation for, in real time, how he flips those hips. Like, and that's the thing. He doesn't second guess himself. Instead of going, so like sometimes you might second guess yourself. He opens up to the inside, so he might second guess and try to open back up to the outside, not just do a little turn. Like that's smart that's smart safety play, and he nearly comes down with the ball, not the ball, but breaking this pass up. But this is the kind of stuff that you see. You can't let this happen. You have to give some bump. You have to give some physicality. You can't just let receivers free release because you're too busy looking in the backfield. You got to mind what's going on. And again, this is a bad position for him, anybody, to be in. He's got to face two guys screaming down the field. So he's got to make a decision. So, one, he kind of opens up to force Trevor Lawrence to throw the ball. Okay. He makes the decision and just nearly gets there. That's effort, it's hustle, it's athletic ability, it's understanding your physical traits and how you might be able to make this play if you can force the quarterback's hand. He did. Unfortunately, they're able to make that touchdown. But again, all of these things almost worked out for Reid in a terrible, terrible situation that he didn't have anything to do that he could do. There's nothing he could do. He did what he could to make a play. And I think at the end of the day, that kind of stuff, as long as you're not continuously letting your receivers just run wild, he can definitely be a key integral part of any defense, specifically the one in Kansas City. One more time here. This is the last play that we're going to look at, just to give you guys a good overall feel of the player that he is. You've seen the speed, you've seen the athleticism, you've seen some of the ball skills, you've seen some of his ability in the run game. Now you're going to see the smarts on field as things are working out. It's something that goes missed by a lot of people because it's a positive play for the offense, but this is an impressive understanding. Okay, knowing what you're supposed to do. It goes down as a 10-yard gain on the play. This 100% could have been a to-the-house call for Laviska Shenault, okay? He's got the speed. He has the quickness in the open field to make a play against a safety one-on-one, okay? Let's talk about right here. So you have the end around. He's coming. So if he tries, say, I can undercut this block and I can get to him, okay? I have the speed. I have all of that. If I can undercut this block, I'm going to be able to get him. You've seen that happen a lot. We've seen all of that happen. Sometimes, most of the time actually, in this type of situation, that's not the case. So instead, he's like, okay, I know that I can undercut, but this is the problem, okay? If I undercut and I miss, he's gone. You got a blocker out in front. You've got this going down. You've got this. This doesn't look good. It's bad. It's not good. You know you're one of the last lines of real defense because you're coming down from your two deep safety spots. So you understand I have to minimize this situation. I have to make this to be a good play for them, but a better play because it doesn't end result in a touchdown. So what do I have to do? I have to get to the edge. I have to get to the edge quickly. I have to force him back into the teeth of the defense because I've got support. So I make him go to the edge, okay? And in doing so, he prevents a huge play on the offense, possibly a touchdown. It's not something that shows up, but it's smart. He understands, just like an edge rusher does, and it's their responsibility to get to the edge to prevent that running back from getting outside. He knows he has to do the exact same thing. So he's going to rush all the way out and try to get in front of this blocker who's trying to clear the lane for him. Just engage, okay? Show inside a little bit, like you're going to actually try to come underneath. This is what this is. It's flashing inside. It's what a lot of defensive tackles do to make the running back second guess where he's going and come back around and do what he wants them to do. This is an excellent high-level mental play from Justin Reid that ends up going for 10 yards in the offense, but it doesn't give up a touchdown. All of that while it's happening, like I do think he's got some tackling limitations. He doesn't have the mentality that Honey Badger does. He doesn't. That's not his fault. He hasn't been in the league nearly as long, and there aren't Honey Badgers that just come around all the time, you know? The kind of stuff just doesn't happen. He's a rare mental player. He's a rare dude. But Justin Reid's got all the physical tools. He's got more physical tools at this point than Tyrann does. Like that's true. It's fact. He has the click and close, and he has the physicality. And right now he's showcasing some unique ability to not take the undercut here because he has the speed to do it. Slow play it and prevent that guy from getting inside underneath you to where you're able to make a play, and it's not a touchdown. Little nuances here. So we did see a little bit from everything from him. Some ball skills. He didn't play a whole lot in like man coverage, which he's not going to. But at the end of the day, I think he's got everything. I think that you can really build a defense around this safety tandem that you're going to have in Kansas City with Juan Thornhill and Justin Reid. It's an excellent get for them. I think that growing is going to be 28 when this contract is up, and that allows you to sign him to another 3-year deal if it's working out at that point. An extension maybe sooner, depending on it. So you're going to have 2 safeties on this team, young and locked up for the foreseeable future. I think that bodes extremely well for them. They have to start filling out corner and linebacker to extent then in that interior a little bit more, and the defensive ends. And I think they're off to a good start. So I'm a big fan of the Justin Reid signing. I hope you guys are. I hope this was a little bit of an informative ability to get to know him just a little bit before this season starts, which is still quite a ways away. But we have more things coming for you. There are bound to be more free agent signings after this. Ryan and I will continue to provide our analysis as well as give you guys our opinions, and I hope you guys have a great day.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.